So this is Diesel We the People News. Come across this video. I didn't really go through it all the way, but I really just took a glance at it, and I thought it was kind of an interesting video because it was in purple, y'all. It's been a while since I checked into color schemes on documents and all that, but if I'm not mistaken, it's red is power, blue is original, black is copy, and purple is for the king. Alright, so basically with this document, what he's saying is that he is sovereign and he has all authority over his well, dominion. Really, but again, this is me just what is that word? Under presumptions, because I didn't really kind of listen to this video all the way through. I just found it interesting, heard him speak a little bit, and I thought, well, you know, this could make a good video. So this is Diesel We the People News. It's a learning video. This video is without prejudice or recourse, and I'm not waiving any of my rights. Alright, I'm not an attorney. Everything I say or do on here is just opinion based only. Alright, I'm going to use the correct definition of words. I'm an idiot, which is an average man. Alright, so YouTube, be careful with canceling the video because I'm using the definition correctly and you're not. Alright, so I thought this was actually an interesting video, mainly because the color schemes, and it said affidavit, and just kind of curious about it, y'all.
Abatement. Awesome information here.
Let me rewind that
this
back
is
a little
about YouTube. So, back with another one for you. And this here, another continuation on common law abatement. Awesome information here. This is about a affidavit of denial of corporate existence, right? And then I also, if you scroll down, you see I have another form of affidavit, affidavit of denial of operating the commerce and shit like that. That's one video of the shit that I actually have here that I filed into a case one time. I never even got to use it because I went in a different direction. But let me tell you something, man. When I went into court and I mean, you even see it there too. It's stamped because the bitch stamped it. It was on top of the pile of other shit I was about to file onto the record that they didn't want to let me file at first, and I had to go back a couple of days later with a fucking affidavit of clerk demanding that she does her fucking job because she tried to tell me that I couldn't file my own fucking defense onto the record, that I have to have a hearing to see if I could file it. Oh fucking really? You're gonna tell me that I can't file my own fucking defense? Enter the fucking record, and you're the clerk, and your only fucking job is to file paperwork? Get the fuck out of here. So I went back with the clerk demand letter with a list of, the fucking the U.S. code that states that she's obligated to do her job and what the criminal penalties are for her not doing her job. And then I left room on the paper for her to say, to write down why she didn't feel she had to do her job, and essentially would have led to the reason why she had to be finding another fucking job, right? So let me tell you, once I went in there with this shit, that bitch got weak in the knees. She got her fucking knees buckled, bro. Straight up, so to the point that I laughed and took it back because it was a couple days from then that I had a hearing anyway. I was like, you know what, just give it back. I'll just talk to the judges when I come a couple days later. I went in a couple days later, and they switched like 5 judges while I was sitting there, and I was the last one to get called up before I went up, and there was no judges in there anymore. It was 2 dudes in fucking polo shirts, and they threw the lawyer that was.
So when they switch judges, y'all, just so y'all know, they're actually changing out jurisdiction. When they switch out judges, it can be the same judge. Okay? That's what he's talking about. Judge leaves the bench and then comes back. Well, he changes jurisdiction. Well, it's amnesty or this, that. So when you really deeply challenge the courts and you see a judge leave, do not leave the court, because what they are doing is changing jurisdiction. Alright?
There that they were gonna try to fucking assign me. They threw him into the fucking lockup box, so took him off the plane, and it was just me talking to these two dudes and shit. I was still new, so I was like, what the fuck? And it had to do with the driving license shit and all that. And so I just, at that point, I was kind of stunned. But now I understand what it was that was happening. They were operating in the capacity of a chancellor at that point because they didn't have the black robes on or none of that. So they were operating in their private capacity as a chancellor rather than as a magistrate or clerk magistrate as they would have been operating otherwise. And it was clear.
Now, from my understanding, and I do not actually really know, I'm not an attorney or anything like that. I'm just an average man. Chancery is more along the lines of really common law things, all right? And it came from England, and I believe it was kind of in Roman before England, and it was adopted into England also. But and generally, it's what he did is actually put himself in the common law courts. Now that's the jurisdiction that he's under, I believe. I may be wrong.
Because they switched 1,000 judges before. And every time a judge gets up and leaves the room and comes back in, the jurisdiction changes. So you have to be clear to specify or have them specify for the record which jurisdiction that they're under at that point in time. Because they like to play stupid-ass games like that. So anyway, moving on. Let's get into this paper here. So registered mail number. You want to send that registered for sure? Because then you're under common law at that point. Certified mail is under their fucking administrative rules, so they can still fuck around with their registered mail. They cannot fuck around with that. So affidavit of your full name, page 1 of 2. Affidavit of denial of corporate existence of your name, upper lowercase, 1 of your name, upper lowercase, the live man and the state of birth, exempt herein, affiant declares the state of the following facts are true and to the best of my knowledge and belief, and of which one has first-hand knowledge of the matter stated herein. 1, your name. Is the age of majority and competent to testify on the matter stated herein. If any man or woman desires to answer this affidavit, please do so in the manner of this instrument. By notarized affidavit using...
Now remember, he said age of majority in there. If you rewind it and hear it, his age of majority. It wasn't adult or anything like that. His age of majority, meaning is the minds.
Your Christian or family name for signature and mail to the below named notary, address provided within 5 days, or default will be obtained. Your handwritten signature only. Do not type it out. This is for them. You're giving them fucking orders here at this point. Just like I was telling you, you have to make them fucking write to you in the form of an affidavit. If not, they can say whatever the fuck they want, and they can even switch the court minutes, the court records, and things like that to make it look like something totally different happened inside that courtroom.
And right? They do that.
Because they're supposed to hold all of the court records, the transcriptions of all the court cases in a safe for 20 years in the basement for review of a justice. If at any point we can, we file to have the cases looked over.
And I believe when the Supreme Court justices, we just had a new one in there. When they talk about the cases and all that, I believe that's where they got some of these court cases. It's been filed basically in the basement. It's in the computers nowadays. But there has also been some private courts. So even though it's not public, it would be filed somewhere else, because now you go into a private contract, and some of these things will not be public record when you challenge the courts the correct way. Like his case here, you would never find it.
For whatever reason, right? So affiant hereby denied that the following corporations exist and their capacity to sue or be sued is challenged by negative averment pursuant FRCP 9A. The United States, aka the United States of America, the state of, the all cap letter name, the county of, the all caps, name, city, all bar associations, the United States District Court, your name, all caps, of address, city name, state name, and all other corporate members who are or may be associated with any complaints against my natural body. Number 2, 1, your name has no contract with the state or federal governments which give equity jurisdiction to the courts. 1 has no bank account, no credit cards one has rescinded the government's social security number and any present or future benefits of that socialist system for religious conviction, right? Number 4, 1, your name has been signed into it.
Okay, so we got a little further down in this video, and it said renounce the security card and no bank account numbers and all that. So for some of y'all that don't really understand this, he's operating 100% on the private side, if this is in fact what he's doing, right? Like I said, this is the only one I've really kind of seen, so I don't know too much about this guy, all right? But from what I'm gathering from this video itself, all right, some people call it American national and maybe state citizen or something like that. Me, on the other hand, the more I research and learn and all that, I'm not in war with anybody, so I'm more considered as a neutral, which is not really what you call U.S. citizen, but I still have the United States original Constitution. But since the corporation and original government is basically at war, and the corporation is at war with you, then what you're doing is pulling yourself out and say, I'm neutral and I'm an innocent bystander in all this mess. All I want to do is be able to protect myself. So as of this point in time, as what little I've learned and everything, I'm in neutral. Okay? Which backs me back out into really the original jurisdiction of the United States. Okay?
International Maritime Agreement with the state of or federal governments, either intentionally, willingly, or knowingly, which would give has no intentional international maritime agreement with the state of or federal governments, either intentional, willingly, or knowingly, which would give admiralty or vice admiralty jurisdiction to the courts of either the state or the federal government, and does not voluntarily submit to any of those jurisdictions. Number 5, 1, your name is subject only to the common law of the Republic of your state and the United States of America, and is not subject to any corporation or its system of administrative law. Number 6, 1, your name is not a corporation or member of a corporation, a trustee or beneficiary of any trust created by the government, is not a legal fiction or a juristic personality, refutes any unknown nexus, which means connection, which might attach him to any of such entity or jurisdiction. Right? Because they're going to try to connect you into a fucking adhesion contract, some way, shape, or form. They're going to try to fucking get you into it because they have to.
Understand and look up the adhesion contract. That is very important. And that's exactly what everything is going on. CPS, traffic tickets, everything. Basically, it's tacit agreement.
Because they have to, because they have nothing otherwise, right? So they're gonna try to trick you. It's all just a bunch of fucking games. So number 7, 1, your name cannot be held in voluntary servitude or peonage pursuant to 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution. Number 8, one cannot be held as surety or collateral for any bankruptcy of the corporate, federal, or state governments without my permission, which has never been given. Number 9, 1, your name has never applied for bankruptcy and never given his permission to the state or federal governments for his participation in any bankruptcy scheme or the federal, state governments, or the Federal Reserve Bank, Inc. 10, 1, your name is a live, natural man living upon the soil of the sovereign republic of Massachusetts, ho. Number 11, 1, your name is not subject to federal law legislated by Congress under its authority or...
I like how he said soil. I might have to keep that in mind. On the soil. Because most people don't realize this, but when you say you're in public, it don't really matter. You're still in the jurisdiction, let's say the state of Texas, right? Well, all public means is government owned. But the government can't own nothing. So how does government own something when they don't own nothing, right? They're claiming it and put you in the public. That's the reason why you hear people of public versus private. I can use the same soil and on the land of the soil on the republic side instead of on the public side of the democracy. All right. Kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. But yeah, the public is basically what they're saying is really called government land, and you're just using it. Okay. That's the reason why these buildings, they say it's for the public, but they changed the trickery of words.
Article 4 of the Constitution of the United States, or state or federal admiralty, equity, judicial jurisdiction. Number 12, 1. Your name is subject only to the law legislated by Congress under its authority, or Article 1 of the Constitution for the United States. If the law has complied with the Paperwork Reduction Act and the Administrative Procedures Act of the Federal Register Act, which would specifically identify the law as being applicable to the general population of the 50 Union States of America. Number 13.
Oh, I love that. The Union of the 50 states. I've said it before with other people, but I love how somebody else is saying it, right? It's kind of verifying I'm on the right track, right? Wow, love that. He absolutely do an amazing job on this.
1. Your name is subject only to a Republican form of government pursuant to the national constitution of the Constitution of your state. All your state's constitutions have your Bill of Rights. That's what your Bill of Rights is. You don't make reference to the United States fucking Constitution at all because you're not a party to it. They are. You're not. Under the equal footing doctrine of the Constitution for the United States of America.
Now, I'm going to clean that up a little bit, right? All right, so they say the Constitution is the law of the land. However, remember a few videos, if you listen to my videos, the original intent of the Constitution is Constitution for the United States, not of the United States. So the Constitution really belongs to the government, right? But it's a contract from the federal government not to trespass. Now, you got the state constitution. However, the problem we have with the misunderstanding on the state constitution, the federal government says the Second Amendment is not to be infringed, but the state cannot have a state constitution saying that the state has the right to infringe on the Second Amendment. It has to be equal or more rights. The state's constitution cannot confiscate more rights from you without your consent, which is what they do, right? Your driver's license. It's a violation of the Fifth Amendment, whether it's in state or in federal. Because when you give them your driver's license, not only this contract, but the most important thing is you are opening a case, and they are using your driver's license to incriminate you. So when they said there's a law saying that you must show driver's license and insurance registration, well, they're saying, well, you must incriminate yourself to open this case, and that way we can hold this all against you. It's very important to understand this consent thing. And even though when they say it's laws, but the laws supposedly cannot overextend the Constitution. If it says not to incriminate yourself, that particularly means you don't need to see driver's license. That's incrimination. That's the reason why the warrants never says names, but it says descriptions. So the people that's making a complaint on you must describe what you look like, and it must be described on the warrant.
America, not under a corporate, municipal, for quasi-military form of government known as either a democracy or martial rule. Further, affiant says not your full name, serving jury capacity. That's your lawful capacity. No, the notarial certification, and then here in the bottom is all the information that would go along with that for the notary there. And then here in the last part, it says for information only, and you should know this, information only. Do not include on your affidavit. Do not replace one with I, as I is not you, it is merely a signifier of a number of entity. Use the notary address for their response to you, not your own. If within 5 days of their receiving the affidavit they do not answer, type up a notice of default and send it to them. The notary is the one who signs the default notice. Notary is a magistrate. They fucking lose. 3 copies of this affidavit should be preferably handwritten. 1 copy forwarded to the U.S. Attorney, and the time give them 5 days to respond and send it registered mail so that they have to sign for it. 1 copy should be kept on you when you go into court. 30 minutes before you enter into court, file one with their court record at the clerk's office, have the clerk stamp it, and the other keep with you in court in case the prosecutor and judge have not received their copies yet. This is how you gotta get down. And I mean, if you want to win the fucking case,
It's almost over. But that's really interesting on the I word, right? Because I said I man and this, that, here, and there. But I had a conversation with one of the family members about talking about the kid talking about third party. Let's go with the most common thing, John Doe, right? But the kid says, John wants to go play. And instead, I want to go play. Or can I go play, you know? But the funny thing is about this, people, is he's not using himself as a third party, but as he is defining him. Alright? He's using his name to define. He is directly talking about himself. And, you know, we just got lost in these mixed up words and then defined all these things and really learning to trick our kids of not how to speak proper English. We're teaching them how to speak babble, throwing a bunch of crap in words that we don't need to use. I do it every day, but I still try to correct myself just now, right? I said I need to correct myself. Alright? What I need to do is use my name. You know? Diesel needs to use the correct words. Right? Not I. Well, that's considered a third party. No. I'm defining I, myself, right? Alright? And that goes for you. You is a banking commercial word, right? You, if you scratch out all the U's and put debt up there, if you'll notice on all your bills, wink wink you, alright, if you notice on your bills, every time you scratch out you and you put a debt up there, there's talking about a debtor, alright? That's the reason why your name's on top. I specifically scratch out you and tell them there's not a you here and tell them put my name on there. But that's in general what the you is a debtor. Alright, so scratch out you on all your papers and just read it that way. And you'll realize how deep in your head that bill is actually to you, right? They're calling you out. You are a debtor, right? You. Debtor. And that's what courts also do. You know, what's your name? You know, they're calling you a debtor. Especially anybody with court papers. When they say you in there, scratch all that out and put debtor up there, then it kind of defines what that court is doing to you. I keep on saying it.
How you gonna do it? That's exactly how you're gonna do it. So keep that in mind. And I mean, you know, like this shit really, really does work. And so even when you bring it in and shit like that, they know what time it is. And if you just seen the look on this woman's face when I brought it in there, yo, you already know that their worst fear is for you to wake up and realize how powerful that you actually are. They're scared to fucking death of it. Why? Because they've been fucking trampling everybody's rights for so long. So fucking long. That they know all of that agony and the pain and all the fucking disrespect is gonna come right the fuck back tumbling down on their head any fucking day. And I think that day has come. So it is a game of chess. Stop playing fucking checkers with these assholes. That's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.
Amen, brother. I'm gonna have to really check out some more of this. All right. He's on top of the screen there. You guys look him up, subscribe, and see what else you can find out too. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. Everything I said here is just opinion. I'm not an attorney, nor care to be one. All right. I just, you know, not looking just straight forward. I'm looking around me. I want to be able to protect myself by any means necessary. If this is true and correct, and I need to go on to the Republic side, and this is part of the ways of doing it, then I may do so. I don't know. You know, when you're on the Republic, life is not as easy as it's making out to seem, but you do have rights over there, and you had to change your whole totally lifespan, right? You no longer have a social security number, you do not have this, you do not have that, you don't have this, all this comfort and wink wink protections. All you really do gain out of it is actually standing on the real inalienable rights. The inalienable rights. Right now we're always in contract. So stretch this out a little too far. This is Diesel We the People News. Bye y'all. Love this video.